Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. Here we go. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. How are you today? Yes? Are you asking for your highest and greatest good? Are you ready to be transfixed and hypnotized into your best self? To uncover some secrets that you've been hiding? Or maybe unlock the mystery of who you're supposed to be? How you're able to facilitate your life? Go through this. Get over trauma and tragedies. Well, we're going to be talking to a master, okay? This is Deb Arth. We call her Debbie. She's up in Northern California. Well, no, up in Northern Washington.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
That's north of me in California. It's beautiful up there. And I told her I was coming that way. And when I do, I'm going to stop and see her. We can have a conversation. But she's going to talk to us about empowered mind hypnosis. I've had a lot of hypnotists on my show. They do not make you quack like a duck. They do not make you bark like a dog. You know, they don't clap their hands and you're 5 miles away and you jump into this trance. It is the power of suggestion. I'm going to ask her about that, but I'm going to put her to the test. I'm going to ask her just how do you get people in that mode? Number one, to trust you, to like you, to know you, and to be able to take you under. Let's talk to her about that and a whole lot more. Welcome her to the show. How you doing, Debbie?
I am doing fantastic, April. How are you?
I can't complain about nothing.
Well, that's a
You
good
know,
place to be.
I can hypnotize myself. And well, we all are in a state of hypnosis every time we lay down and go to sleep.
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
sometimes you're at the stop sign. Or have you got somewhere brazy? Why the hell did I get here? You're in a state of trance. We're going to talk to you about that. But before we do that, how did you find yourself in this space? Tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, it started back when I was doing network marketing. I went through quite a few different companies at that point, and I always wanted to make an impact on someone's life. And I thought, okay, maybe buy these products or whatever it might be, then that was going to be the path. Well, nothing against the products or anything like that or the services that I represented, but it just never really hit home with me. And I knew that there was something else that I should be doing. So with my one of my network marketing companies, there was a lady that she was really doing well in the sales. So they had her on a sales call, and she was actually using hypnosis in order to help for hypnosis marketing. And so what I did was I enrolled in one of her courses, and it was about hypnotic marketing. And then that led me to her course of Hypnosis 101, which led me to Hypnosis 201, 301, which is where I received my certification for hypnosis. And then I also received certification to be a subconscious block removal specialist.
Mm.
And this is something that absolutely resonates with me. I feel like the first time in a long time that I'm truly aligned with something to help people to live out their best lives and to level up and to get past things that may be holding them back. So that's kind of how I came across my journey.
Let me tap into that just a minute. Now, Brace, I'm not giving her a hard time, but you want to know. And so I have to speak for both sides of the coin here. Sales itself, be it network marketing, be it the Avon lady, shout out to Avon ladies if there's any Avon ladies left, car salesman, your doctor, it's a sales job. And sales is hypnotic because you are selling to value and you are trying to fulfill a need. You're coloring in the white space. So I could see how this woman, being a network marketer, could really put the Spengali on the people because I did network marketing years ago and I was great at it too. But they get you at that 1-800 ballroom, baby. And by the time they finish with that hype fest, you feel like you can fly. I don't care if they selling widgets. You the best widget seller there is. But the core to it all is the know, like, and trust factor. Even with hypnosis, I've had a couple people try to hypnotize me, and they said you just won't go under. No, because I block it. I don't. I don't feel comfortable with them taking me to that place. So no matter what you do, and I could see her just really having people because they're hungry at that point. They really want to sell. They want to make the kind of money that she's making. They want to build the kind of team that she has. They already have this embedded in their mind, what they want before she introduces the power of suggestion. Am I right?
Yes, yes. And I think above all else, like you said, you have to build a rapport. That was probably my biggest takeaway that I got with all my years of being a network marketer or doing sales. If you don't have that rapport with someone and build up, like you said, like that trust and that make them feel like they're safe and honored and protected, and I look at hypnosis as it's sacred work. I mean, you have to really make sure that those people know that they can trust you with sometimes their deepest secrets or their deepest concerns, and that it's going to be a comfortable space for them to release whatever they need to release to move on with their life. And I think the safer you feel, and then the more receptive you'll be to the suggestions that can help you save yourself or move on to something else, because your subconscious job is to protect you. And so if the subconscious feels safe, then the more things will allow into your life that will help you with your changes.
Now, people look at hypnosis like they look at voodoo, woo woo, uh, you know, anti the word, but I think it's a parallel, you know. There is
Yes.
definitely reality to it. And you are what you eat, brains. What you put in is what you are. So when something comes out or comes to surface, unfortunately, it was embedded there all along because Debbie can't make it happen. Unfortunately, she can reveal to you what has happened and try to help you cope with that. You take on a lot of responsibility when you do this too. You know, you hear these things, but also it can, lack of a better term, be embedded in your psyche. How do you cleanse yourself and make sure that you're cool with it?
Usually, what I do before I conduct a session with anybody is I get myself in the right mind space. I will meditate. I will also put like a protective light around myself, because I am an empathic person as it is. And so I can absorb people's energy or people's situations that they're trying to deal with. So I definitely make sure I'm grounded and I'm in the right mind space. That's always my approach with it. And then even after a session, I will sometimes debrief with myself and get myself recentered. So I'm not bringing whatever energy into my next client's appointment.
Right, or taking it to lunch with you.
Yes, yes,
Because you hear a lot of stuff.
yes.
You hear a lot. Do you record your sessions with your clients to give it to them?
I do at times, but there's that fine line, just because of the fact, like if say there was something like a block that you removed from them, And then if it's truly removed and it's gone, and then I don't want to reintroduce it back to themselves if they listen to the recording.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Yeah, that, or, they can self-sabotage and bring it right back
yes,
because
yes.
there is a lot of epigenetical trauma in all of us. Mine could have went back to when 1800s, when my grandmother was in a slave internment camp, great grandmother. I got pictures of her, and I didn't know anything about that. But
Hmm.
again, it all transfers through your DNA, through your genomics. So there's a lot going on with that. When so give us an idea. You got somebody in your plush office, got the plants, you burning some non-chopper, you got the music going on, they're in the zone. But what do you do to get them in a hypnotic state? Give us a couple things so people have an idea of what this is about. They think you've got a pendulum.
No.
I'm telling you
They're
what people
they
think. They and the I was
the Hollywood version.
I was at someone's event, and he would do something, and then he'd say sleep, and she would. I'm saying I thought it was some trickery. I really thought it was some trickery because she just, and then when it was over, she just kind of wobbled back up. But I'm saying, how does he just snap his finger? Is he a warlock? What do you do with the power of suggestion to get people to go under?
Usually what we do, it all starts with what we call like the pre-talk that we have with the client. So I go through and I really go and talk with the client to see, what their hesitations are, what their myths are, clear up any misconceptions, try to get them in the most comfortable space. I also walk them through the process of what they may experience when they're in trance, as far as what their body might do, so they're not hyper focused on that and they're not thinking, okay, well, I'm swallowing a lot. Why am I doing that? So it's a natural part of being in the process. And then from there, we we always get permission to hypnotize people because your subconscious mind won't do anything that you won't allow it to do, type of thing. And then what we do is I start walking you through what we call in the hypnotic world an induction. And then I take you from the induction to where some like deepening that. So you're at the most receptive state that you can be in. And then for my original interview with the clients, then that helps me to formulate what I'm going to be suggesting to them on things that they want to work on.
Yeah. So, you have the mental foreplay.
Yes,
You
yes,
massage their mind. You get into their breath. You get them to trust and relax. But you ask them to go deeper and to go deeper
yes,
and to go deeper.
yes.
I know I had to stop it. I was dealing with some people, one of my clients, and she took us on a meditation on the back of a dragon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was from another scene. That's why I said I had to stop that because I didn't know. I was there. I was
Hmm.
flying in the sky with the dragon. It was on and popping. I was going deeper and deeper. And I was like, okay, so I was feeling that I was losing control. Afterwards, I was exhausted. I remembered what I was supposed to do. I remember where I was. Brains, it was deep. It was really deep. And I said, if I keep hanging around with these people, no telling where I'm gonna end up.
What medieval world you'll be?
Okay, I'm telling you, and it was really, really different. So I say that to you, brains, to take this very seriously. Have a conversation with Debbie, Dr. Joe, whoever, um, before you really lend yourself 110% because there's got to be a balance. It's got to be a duality. You still got to have some sort of control. I'm going to have another guest on my show that has just been released from being with a guru for 30 years. 30 years she was with this guru. And you'll say his name, and her body will start jumping and bobbing. She said he would make her meditate for 4 hours,
Oh, geez.
4 hours straight every day. And she has to drive past the house where she lived with him to go to work. She's a school teacher. And there's 20 other people that are living in that house that are under his control. So believe when she says that the power of suggestion. We want it to be used for our highest and greatest good. But also, just like anything else, too much food, too much alcohol, too much religion, too much sex, it can get you to the point where you become um, you become it, and it does not become you, or is becoming to you. So,
Absolutely.
what is what's one of your success stories?
I had a client and she was really struggling with, you know, having jealousy towards this gal. And it was over this mutual friend of like male friend of hers. And she like hated everything about this woman because the woman that was my client was was in a platonic relationship with this gentleman, but it was um where it could have went either way, where it could have been a deeper relationship, and she felt as though this person was trying to zero in and hone in on her what she perceived was her man.
Oh shoot.
Oh yeah, some drama, girl. And so that, and then didn't have like a lot of self-confidence as far as wanting to go out in the world and do things. And she would always like self-sabotage herself. She was a teacher. And then the teacher, when she retired, one of her students had a really deep connection with her, and he just wanted to take her out to dinner to thank her for all that she did for him. And then she was really downplaying herself, like that she wasn't deserving of this acknowledgement and that she wasn't um it's like, oh, you're talking to somebody else. You're clearly not talking to me about this recognition and about that. So we were able to, within 5 sessions total, we were able to reverse it to where she didn't have the jealousy at all, where she was very, neutral towards this person. The person, this other woman, didn't affect her at all. And then she was able to receive the compliments or the um, wanting to go out and do things like because what she would do is she would make herself really small so people wouldn't want to invite her to places or they wouldn't want her to be included. And then just to see her turn around and have those aha moments where she felt empowered and she felt like she was truly worthy of being recognized and having a better relationship with people and feeling the need to get herself out there to where she can experience her life and have her retirement. She had her husband pass away, and so she was kind of by herself. And so it enabled her to where she was able to like really live her life and move forward after the death of her husband.
Mm.
And it was powerful to see. And in one of the sessions, it almost brought her to tears when she had like this recognition that, okay, all these things, they aren't her. They're things that happened to her, but they're not her identity. And then for her to be able to release that with the jealousy and everything, it was just a huge moment for her.
And a huge moment for you too, to be able to see the transformation
Yes,
individual.
yes,
But I always say this to people too that are transformational coaches, that are inspirers, that are hypnotherapists, even doctors. Sometimes when you rise, you greet somebody else.
yes.
you know you greet something again that's your greatest good. Hopefully it's your greatest good. There's an adjustment period there too. Are you there to support them through the adjustment?
Yes, and I've been in contact with this client, and I will check in with her, and I'll say, okay, are things still going well? And then she'll message me sometimes, and she'll say, hey, you'll never guess what I did, Deb. I went to this opera, and 2 years ago I wouldn't have done that, or I went out to sh- she went out to lunch with somebody that was friends with the other woman, but didn't, include the woman. She wasn't ready for that part of it,
Right.
but she was able to actually go out and really start enjoying herself.
Right. Her trigger.
Yes.
And so you able to really identify and recognize your trigger. Um, One of my other guests taught me sensory therapy, and I thought it was so precious. I had something that was annoying me. I'd get up and I'd go to a certain part of my house. Every time I went to this certain part of my house, this thought would come in my head. And I'm like, okay, and I think in a few minutes, I get angry based upon my previous emotions, how it made me feel previously, which I had to understand that it was in the past. This is a new situation. And she just said, just comfort yourself. Just put your hand on your cheek and say, hey, I recognize this emotion. I recognize this feeling. This is not good for me. This is not comforting for me. I don't want this anymore. And I do that, even now. Sensory touch is so important.
Hmm.
In hypnotherapy, there's going to be things that are going to pop up: a smell, a sound, a song. It's more than just all of that connects to the memory with that. Do you help people adjust to that? Say, maybe the smell of jasmine really, you know, really sets you off or puts you in a great place, or the smell of some old funky tennis shoes take you back to the time when you were, that you were in high school and everybody was bullying you in the gym. Do you give those kinds of you have those kind of conversations? I know everybody is different, but the power of suggestion, is that a lead in to ask them to go deeper and to bring out more?
Yes. And then what we do, like my job as a hypnotist, is never to try to erase a memory or anything of that nature, because that's not really a good practice to erase a memory. But my job is to help to neutralize your reaction to it. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not like hyper vigilant on something. You're not going through those stressors. And it's basically just to kind of help calm your nervous system down. So that's what I work on that when I talk with people originally, and I find out, things maybe that possibly are triggering them, or something that, they need to work through. And then I will help give them suggestions during the time that we're in hypnosis. Like, say if someone was a smoker and they like hated the smell of like pineapple for some reason. And then I would say something on the line like, every time you smell pineapple, it will make you to where you don't want to smoke a cigarette, type of thing. And then I would try to tie it together
Mm-hmm.
that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, that jacks up the pineapples.
Yeah, poor pineapple, poor,
Yeah,
poor
no,
pineapple.
I know, but but I get what you're saying. But that's what I was trying to tell or trying to identify with that is again the power of a suggestion.
Yes,
Power
yes.
of suggestion. So let's ask you some fun questions because I
Okay.
love to ask some fun questions.
All right.
If you hadn't done network marketing and you not a hypnosis, what's your zone of genius? Where would you be playing the guitar somewhere on the beach? What would you be doing?
Well, a long time when I was a child, I always wanted to be a veterinarian,
Oh,
but I stopped myself from doing that. I get too attached to the animals, and I wouldn't be able to do well, I don't think, when you have to put the animal down or something of that nature. So I stopped myself in a sense from following that path, but I'm very passionate about animals, and I really just Yeah, that would probably be what I would definitely be doing.
Yeah, shout out to veterinarians.
Oh,
I
yes,
had
yes,
another guest that they told me that veterinarians is one profession with an unbelievable amount of suicides.
yes, yes.
And I was like, but you know what? You would think that because this animal doesn't speak the same language, you're able to save the horse, you're able to save the pig, you're able to save
Hmm.
the cotton picking, what do you call those things? Guinea pig. But it's not just the dog or the cat, but they say that it's really, really traumatic for them.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of animals, if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
I would definitely be a dog.
A dog? Why?
Yes. I think for just that sheer loyalty, that unconditional love, uh, the protectiveness, just everything about dogs. I don't believe that humans are worthy of having dogs half the time. So because they just like I have a German Shepherd I
Mhm.
rescued from the pound, and she's a goofball, but she absolutely just encompasses all that. She just wants that love. She's so protective. She's so loyal. And even, the dogs that are unfortunately beat or mistreated, they still have that loyalty. And I think loyalty is huge for just anything.
Well, dog is God spelled backwards.
That and my Chinese horoscope, I am the year of the dog.
Yeah.
So,
So and they're so loyal. I get hooked on those videos that you as you scroll mindlessly
yep.
scrolling through, and you see the dog and he kisses his master or he's talking and the dog's responding, and you know
Yep.
they're absolutely amazing. I'm not a cat person so much. I don't really
Not me either.
love a
No.
cat, but I love me a dog. I really really do. If you were an appliance in the kitchen, Debbie, what appliance would you be and why?
I would be a refrigerator
Ah, me too.
because I'm a foodie. I like to eat. I believe that you have to have nutrition for your body in order to have that solid core. So
Yeah, I
that's why
like
I'd be a refrigerator.
I like it because you got to come to me every day, at least once a day. You got to come to me, and I just want to be somewhere where I could chill.
Yep.
And then if it's not good, we can just stick it in the freezer because it ain't no good.
Exactly. Exactly. It,
You could
that could,
time travel, because you're able to do that also with hypnosis.
mhm.
Go back to the past, reside in the present, project to the future, where you landed.
I have always been drawn to either Egypt or Japan, those cultures. I think, early in the early years, like around the for the like around the time of pyramids and things of that nature.
14th, maybe before that,
Yes, yes.
14th, 15th century. Yeah, I had an experience that I was called to go to China, and I was like, China? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Black folks don't go to China. They go to Jamaica. Bahamas.
Yeah, right. I want to be on a beach.
They're not going to China. What you doing in China? I said, Mommy, I said, I was Chinese in a previous life. I know this. Well, when I came back, I did one of those DNA tests.
Hmm.
I found out that I was 17% Mongolian.
Oh, there you go.
And she said, but you came from me. I said, maybe it was on daddy's side. I don't know. but it,
Exactly.
but it was really really fascinating to figure that out. And you say that you want to go back. I think again, I say it all the time. What I find so alarming: nobody's excited about the future, nor are they excited about being here in the present.
Right.
They always want to go back to try to fix something, rewrite a wrong.
Hmm.
Can't rewrite a wrong, brains. It is what it is. It's just like the stock market. Past performance is not indicative of future results. They tell you that all the time. And so what we have to do is work with trained professionals like Debbie to weather the storm because we're moving at warp speed and we are going through this lunar vortex of change. And civilization is going to change, our mindset, even the way that we communicate with one another through artificial intelligence, the way that we have children now. I mean, 70, 80 years ago, there was no in vitro. They weren't able to do that. There was no surrogates. That was different. The way that the diseases are morphing from one thing to another, to another, to another.
Mm.
Even the way that we communicate with one another, just having a conversation. Everybody goes from a flicker to a flame. So dial back on that. Think about these things. Think about how you treat your children. Think about longevity. And then what are you going to take with you to your next phase of life? Have you really figured it out? Debbie, I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Because it's a lot to onboard. It's a big container of information that you're storing, not just for one person, two people, but everyone under the sound of your voice. It's a big responsibility because sometimes people don't adapt well. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know what, like a veterinarian, you don't know what's going to happen in the end.
Yep.
Your very best. So again, I thank you so much. Please tell my brains how to get in contact with you. I'd love for them to have a consultation with you just to talk about some things. She's not a therapist. She's
Nope.
not a coach. She's not a counselor. She's a hypnotist, which is
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
she's in
Yes.
Washington, which is really cool.
Uh-huh.
How to get in contact with you.
Okay, my website is Empowered Minds Hypnosis, all one word.com. And then I can also be reached on, I don't have Instagram or any of that, but I can also be reached through Facebook. And my name is Debbie, Debbie, Arth, Arth.
Brains, go in and take a look at it. Okay? Have a conversation with her. You don't know what you don't know. Again, we're all seekers here. This is a temporary condition. We didn't come here to stay. I know. But we are all organic and we are going to expire. And so, what are you going to do when you expire? Are you going to plant that seed in fertile ground or to populate, germinate to the next? Or are you just going to sit there and rot like an old piece of bologna?
Yeah.
It ain't good. It's not a good look. Thank you. And a shout out to all of the multi level marketers. May your products and service company bring you the best, highest, greatest good. And again, um, have integrity, have love, have respect, be grateful, and you're already rich. And wait a minute, I need you to do one other thing.
Okay.
Brains, I need you to go in and love, like, share, and subscribe to me. Go in and listen to other edgy conversations here on the edge. We've got everything from soup to nuts. Okay? Fun, facts, fear, but it's all designed to help you do better. It's not about me. It's not about my guests. It's about each one of you. I thank you. I honor you. I respect you. Thank you, Debbie. Come back and see me again.
Thank
I'm
you.
not
I
like that
appreciate
way,
your time.
and I'm gonna give you a call. We're gonna sit
Uh,
there and talk
all
about
right.
some stuff.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So we're gonna go to the refrigerator.
Let's go chill.
Bye, brains.
Bye-bye.